nice day to go mine hunting. Let's go in the mine. Ooh, sounds like a foghorn.
Well, that doesn't sound creepy. Let's go.
That's some old timbering there, I don't know. Big hanging wall here. Look at the open stopes up there. It's kind of neat. There's a little piece of ladder. Being at a very steep angle. You can see this is looking almost straight up. Like an 80-degree angle. Julie's down the way there a little bit. We come up to a chute. It's plugged. Is that a ladder by you?
No.
It's not? Look down.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we are at the top of this ladder. There's a skip track going down this side. And then there's a ladder here. I've not been on this ladder before, so I've got a rope here and I've got a harness. I'm just using a Prusik loop to slide down the rope. So let's go down and see what we see down here. Look at the hook they had for the skip when it came up. They'd hook it in there and dump it. Okay, let's see what happens here. I'm sure my nose gonna work. Yeah, that's gonna work. It's tight on the backpack.
Okay.
These are some skinny miners. The ladder ends, and it looks like there might be a working level, and then it picks up again further down. So this is looking back up the ladder I just came down. This is a skip track over on this side. There's a roller up there for the cable. There's still a water line that comes down. It comes to just a short little drift on each side here. Alright, here comes Julie down the Winze. It's a pretty steep ladder. It's almost straight at first. There she comes. The ladder's in pretty good shape. Almost got me in the toe.
I don't know where that came from.
That's why you wear helmets, because stuff can fall on your head out of nowhere. Especially when you're using a rope. The rope can knock stuff loose. Funny, yeah, right there.
Okay.
Alright. Comes Julie down the next set of ladders. Don't touch the skip rail. It's all full of grease.
Got it. Right.
That's right.
Narrow little ladder.
Yeah, it gets narrower in here, I forgot to tell you.
Where'd the rest of it go?
I know. They must have been running out of lumber. Okay, good job.
Thank you.
So the ladders still go down a little bit. We'll probably go down there in a little bit later. And let's take this left. There's some track going. And we'll follow Julie. I don't know what all this stuff is. Looks like a rat's nest down here. Did you say something about bones?
Yeah. They're over here.
So there's some bones down here. Some kind of a bird it looks like. I want to know, there's some vertebra. I don't know why there'd be a rat's nest. We're at least 100 feet down. There's some paper from dynamite boxes. Here's an ever-ready fresh stone antifreeze. That's an old one. Fuel can with one of those old spouts.
Top of the ladder down there.
Top of the ladder.
Top of the ladder.
Oh, how'd they squeeze into there? There's another fuel can. There's some lagging up above here. There's another can. That's Texaco motor oil, looks like. Here's a stope. Here's this bracing and the lagging. This is a little bigger than I thought it was. And it curves to the right. Here's some steel. It's pretty heavy duty, 1/8 inch anyway. And it's either a blast mitigator or stuff to slide their oar around on. Those always look to me like they've had blasts going on one side of them or both sides, and that's why they have holes blown in them and bulges in them. Keep the fly rock down. And this is going to be the face. They went a little ways after they had their vein and nothing else popped up, so they quit. Okay, about 100 feet down this Winze shaft, which is right there, we've come across a working level here. There's a few shovels and some tools, an airline, and then there's a homemade skip car. It's made out of a blue pressure tank for an old well, and they've welded some pegs on the edge here to ride on the rails, and they've also fashioned a yoke, I guess you could call it, and welded that on, and that's what they hooked their cable or rope onto to pull it up the Winze. Okay, let's look to the right off the Winze. See some stalls. The water line looks like it ends here. There's a stope up to the right. It's still got a steep angle on this vein. You can still see some of it up in there that they left. Some more stalls. Do I see a wheelbarrow? Oh, there's a fairly modern wheelbarrow. A modern beer can. Tire's flat. There's a little bit of gobbing. Some more bones of something. What is that?
Some kind of bird.
I think it's a bird.
I think so.
There's a few nails in that can. And looks like another shovel. Another shovel. A working platform here. That's what they were chipping away at up there. Goes a little bit further that way.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
Let's see what's down below the next level. I don't know why there'd be so many birds in here. They fly in that open stove somehow?
Probably, yeah.
One big step there when the ladders join.
Okay.
And then the ladder ends, but the shaft continues, so don't go off that last step.
Okay.
Okay, here comes Julie down to level 3. Had to get out of Julie's way. She's dropping debris on me. Rocks and stuff. Yeah, these last steps are all kind of tall. Okay, now you got one more step and don't go any more than that because the ladder is done. And the shaft continues. So why don't you take a right. Okay, that's about all you're going to get because I'm still hooked up here. So here's a wood dynamite box. Looks like a Hercules powder. It's a little broken up, but I think it's all there. Why don't you show off some of the pieces of it? The lettering is the important part. The lettering here. DuPont. So it's all there. There you go. I don't know how many dynamite boxes we found lately.
A lot.
I know, quite a few. Alright, let's go this way a little ways. There's some huge lagging, looks like old railroad ties to me. And then some large, like a 6x8 for the braces. There's some track down here. It's official track. It's a lighter gauge, but it's not homemade. There's part of a bleach bucket, it looks like. Yeah, it's some kind of scoop in it.
Yeah.
Is it for scooping their fines? There's a pry bar, it looks like. Here's a set of ladders. So they worked this vein up until they got it all, because I don't see anything left. Okay, well here are these ladders. There are 2 ladders. They were just working ladders and they ended up here. There's that dynamite box. All the pieces are there, which is nice that somebody hasn't taken it. And it'll be there for the next guy. Not even rotten at all. This whole big back of this Winze is all one big hanging wall. You can see it. A big smooth slab all the way up. And it's not quite as steep an angle, but it's still pretty steep, probably like 60 degrees. Something like that. And then the wind shaft does go down about another 40 feet, but it doesn't look like there's much down there, so we're going to skip that. Besides, the ladder's done here, so up we go. Okay, Dewey's going up to the next level. This is the level the skip was on. I like that homemade skip. That's pretty cool. Are you going to go all the way up?
No, I'll stop right here.
You can if you want, I don't care.
No, I'll wait.
It's going almost vertical now. There's the roller for the skip cable. Still rolls. Oh shit.
Yeah. And tight.
Tight squeeze.
Yeah.
Either that or you gotta lose weight. So we took the ropes off since we'd already tested the ladders. And they were good. I should say rope.
Alright.
Here's a track spacer. That's kind of interesting. Let's take this little side drift. Comes to a small table. Not sure what they're using it for. Maybe preparing their blasting caps. There's track in here. Here's these turds that look like tortoise turds again.
Oh.
They're tortoise have kind of a unique looking feces. They're kind of short and fat. So this goes a little further. The track keeps going. Couple of chutes here and there, a nice kink in the track. Always fun to see the tracks curving around. Big stope straight up. And a working platform. And the track curves hard to the left. I love when the track winds around like that. Here's a little dugout to the right. I don't see much back there. Here's back to the main line. You wouldn't know this mine was this big from the outside because the waste rock pile is not that big. And to have that 3-level Winze, even though the working levels aren't gargantuan, it's still that Winze goes down. We have a 150-foot rope, and it goes down about 120 or 30. We have just a little bit of rope left. Here's a junction. Let's go back this way. Let's take a look at it. They've pulled the track and ties out of here. And it looks different than the rest of the mine. I wonder if they were trying to intersect something and they didn't, because I don't see any vein material here. And then there's the face of this. Alright, we're heading back out. One last look at the windy track. So there's a horn here that would have been hooked up to a battery. Here's the battery cables. There's a dead rat. Yeah, these are the things we put up with when we're out mine exploring. That's a pretty fresh one too. Big valve here for the water pipe. But that horn would have been for the bottom guy to signal up to the hoist operator to pull up that skip. That's kind of neat. And the great outdoors. Hey, there's a Jeep right outside here. You can drive right to this one. Usually we gotta walk miles. Well, that's going to do it for today's Explorer. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on our next adventure.